Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to be talking about classifying rational numbers. A rational number is any number that can be written as a fraction, a over b. It doesn't necessarily always look like the fraction a over b, but it can be written this way. The numerator and denominator are integers, and the denominator is not equal to 0 when you are writing it as a fraction a over b. Please take a moment to copy these notes into your math notebook. You can use a Venn diagram to classify numbers. Your whole numbers we've studied already are 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of the counting numbers or natural numbers, which are whole numbers, and 0. Sometimes whole numbers don't look like whole numbers. Many improper fractions can be considered whole numbers, as long as when they are evaluated, they equal a whole number. Any whole number can be written as a fraction where the numerator is the whole number and the denominator is 1. This will give you a value that is a whole number. In addition, 15 over 3 is also considered a whole number because its value is 5. Integers add to this group the negative whole numbers, -1, -2, -3, all the way to infinity. -14 over 1 is also considered an integer because its value is -14, similar to 12 over 1 being 12 in the whole numbers, and -15 over 3 would have the value of -5. This is also considered an integer, even though it's written as an improper fraction. Our next group is rational numbers. Rational numbers include fractions. The fraction 1/2 can clearly be seen in the form a over b, where a, the numerator, would be 1, and b, the denominator, would be 2. In addition to this, mixed numbers, whether positive or negative, are also rational numbers. That's because they can be written as an improper fraction, and that would be in the form a over b. Here, -19 would be your numerator, and 4 would be your denominator. So your a would be equal to -19, and the b would be 4. Decimals are also considered part of this group. The decimal 63/100ths is considered a rational number because it can be written in a fraction form a over b, where a and b are both integers and the denominator is not equal to 0. Repeating decimals are also considered rational numbers as long as they have a predictable pattern of repeating. Here, 75/100ths obviously would be considered a rational number, but if there is a repeating bar placed over the 75/100ths, this means that the pattern would be decimal point 75757575, and on. This is considered a rational number as long as there is a predictable pattern in the repeating decimals. Percents are also a part of the rational numbers. Again, percents can be written as a fraction, where both the numerator and denominator are integers, and the denominator is not 0. So we've covered whole numbers, integers, and rational numbers, but there are other numbers. All of the numbers together are real numbers. But there is one other group, a very small group of numbers, considered irrational. So, what's an irrational number? An irrational number is any number that cannot be written as a fraction a over b. For example, a decimal that goes on forever without a repeating pattern is considered an irrational number. An example is pi. Pi is the 16th letter of the Greek alphabet. It is also the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. You'll learn a little bit more about that in 7th grade. But basically, you should know that pi is a number that repeats forever with an unknown pattern, and that's the key. It has an unknown pattern, and therefore it's an irrational number. So let's review. Take a moment and write in these answers in your notebook. A rational number is any number that can be written as a what? The numerator and denominators are both. The denominator, Take a moment and then check yourself. Did you write fraction, a over b? The numerator and denominator are both integers, and the denominator cannot be equal to 0.